Well, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Early Sports Stadium for the starting of the NFC's game number 32 on the schedule. Hutt Valley taking on Auckland. Let's go straight into the defensive lineup for Auckland. Crystal Wani, Miriam Amakia, Brooke Whiteman left to right in the outfield. Rebecca Brombeard will range the hot corner at third base. Logan Moreland, Madison Gerbies will be the pairing up the middle. Tanisha Hokama over at first. Aroha Nono will do the catching duties for the starting pitcher, that is Lauren Parker. Offensively now, let's have a quick look at Hutt Valley. Denver Short Titan, shortstop leads off. Caitlin Lewin, the spark plug, will be hitting two. Lara Andrews, Lace, Tangiar now. Ashley Johnson will be in the middle of the order. Palace Potter, Otila Tavite will be in there. Then Kitty Winner-Tanoka, Erin Blackmore rounds out the batting order as we get underway here with first pitch. At the top of the first innings, Hutt Valley will be the visiting team batting first. Denver Shore Tate sees the first pitch come down the strike zone from Lauren Parker. I'm Jason Gerbies, aka Chopper. Great to have you along for this one, but even better than that, joining me in the booth is none other than Sky Sports White Sox genuine two-way star. In the booth with me today, that is Jennifer Ferret-Beard.
What an introduction. Thanks, Chopper. No pressure there, but I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Fantastic
to have you along, Jen. Just so good to have someone with good knowledge of the game to be in here, and a hard-hit ball down the line. Well, Jen, before we go any further, after Denver Shore Tate drives that one the other way, Auckland, Hutt Valley, day two in the competition of the NFC, what are we going to see?
Early days, I think these teams know each other quite well, but at the same time, I think Auckland's still trying to find themselves out a little bit and still totally gel. But yeah, early days, I think they're still just picking away and seeing. We've seen in the past what happens in day 1, 2, 3 doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to day 4.
Both of these teams come into the end of day 2 with a 2-1 record.
Just trying to get a pen out here. Sorry, ill prepared. That's my fault.
Oh, good.
Don't have a pen.
They both come in with a 2-1 record. Those Auckland and Wellington, or should I say just the one loss through 2 days. I think it's a 3-1 record, to be fair. And they've been playing exceptionally well, both teams. But if they want to get through to those top sections come playoff time, they know they've got to take care of business here.
Definitely. And they don't necessarily want to show all their cards early, but at the same time, they want to show them, hey, look, we're going to be seeing you later. You better be afraid of us. We're coming back. We'll see you later.
Caitlin Lewin, I call her the spark plug. Sacrifice bunt is down. Bromhead will take care of that with a bounce into second base. Going home now, the throw, the tag, and she is out. It'll be a double play here. Second base as well. Logan Morling diving, matching Caitlin Lewin into second base, but boy, a lot happening there. A bounce throw to first base. Second baseman Madison Gerbies bobbles it, but still managed to get the throw home just in the nick of time.
So much action. We thought the last game was exciting. It finished exciting. Well, we are exciting from the second batter of this game. So really heads up making that play at home. That's what we talk about, elite softball, having that heads up, knowing where that runner's going. Even if you make an error, pick it up and look to that next play. And then the next play after that to throw it back out to second base. And you'll see coming around third base, Shaw would have had a little bit of a hesitation, wasn't sure if she's going to go. I still thought she reacted quite quickly, but not enough because she was just short at home. And so it shows you everything's bang, bang, split second in this game.
Bang, bang play indeed. Well, we've got a good umpiring crew in this one for us, all international level umpires, which makes it so fantastic here at the NFC. Makes things a lot better. You can see Nikki Ozure calling the balls and strike behind the dish. As that one comes down the zone. Rebecca Taylor visiting from Tauranga over at first base. John Hickman here from North Harbour. And Liz Kwana at third base all the way from the Manawatu.
It's really good to see Nikki back out and behind home plate, playing the game for a few years. I've always liked Nikki behind the plate.
And a big throw for Moreland on a bobble, but couldn't quite get the handle on it. And she will keep on scampering around. Well, Lara Andrews, that's a heads-up play by her.
Yeah, that ball seemed to slip through a little bit. Went through Beck's Bromhead over at third base, over to Logan. But heck of an effort, bobbling the ball, finding it into her hand, and gunning it down to one. The strength of her arm is unreal. And great effort by Tanisha over at one, laying out, trying to make that play, but not quite pulling it off.
Lace Tangyar now starting left fielder for Hutt Valley. Steps in, sees the first one come down the pipeline. Something about Ballpark at night under lights, Jen. Call me romantic. Call me just a
it is
damn
Valentine's
fan.
weekend.
It is
Don't
Valentine's
forget.
weekend. No.
I think we went through this last year, didn't we, Jumper?
Don't forget. Well, of course, I'm sure tomorrow, Sunday, day ahead of myself, will be a special day for all those couples. Not only here in New Zealand, but around the world. We wish you all well on Valentine's Day coming on. Don't forget.
Your friendly service announcement.
Curveball. It's bumping on the outside edge. Lauren Parker, Jen, what type of pitcher is she for Auckland?
Yeah, I was just going to comment. So Lauren here, having a lot, drop ball is, I think, her strength, mixing a lot of some off speed and some movement outside, some curveballs, but struggling to find the zone right now, throwing a few wild pitches, going quite wide. So whether it's maybe that time before the game not properly being able to warm up, or a lot of stop start, whatever it is, she hasn't come in fully prepared to come at this game, because right now she's top of the stats, right? She's number one. But in my opinion, with my pitching coach hat on, she needs to come out stronger and ready to go.
Well, that's what you want to see, don't you? It's, and that's a good thing about having Jennifer Ferrer-Beer here. Like I said, Sky Sports White Sox superstar, especially the performance you put on in Chiba, Japan at the World Championship. Simply outstanding on the hill and with the bat. But being able to see those things and those intricacies that only pitchers know, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, it does give you an edge as a batter if you're going in knowing what the pitcher's trying to do. But I think in this case, looking at these pitchers and knowing at the level they're playing at, this is NFC, this is the best of each region. So really expecting more out of Lauren at this point in the game. I'm going to call her out. Come on, Lauren.
Challenge laid and set from Jennifer Ferret right at the feet of Lauren Parker. It's a 2-2-2 count with a runner on two here. I'm simply running out of twos at this point. No score on the scoreboard though. Hard hit ball, Bromhead right there. This throw is on the money. So the threat is erased from second base, and a good defensive play in the end, and a couple of balls at home plate keeps Hutt Valley scoreless in the top of the first. We'll be back with more action in the bottom of the first in just a short moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ELE Sports Stadium here on day two, the 7 o'clock feature match, just starting a little bit behind that time with all the action here on day two. Hutt Valley taking on Auckland. Let's look at Hutt Valley's defensive lineup for you now. Lace Tangyar now, Caitlin Nguyen and Kitty Winiate Inoka left to right in the outfield. Laurie Andrews, White Sox, and Hutt Valley star at third base. She continues that stint. Warriors player at the Pennsylvania University, Denver Short Tates at shortstop, Ashley Johnson at two, Pelly Potter at first, Leilani Tamai behind the dish, and Aaron Blackmore gets the starting duties on the hill. Offensively for Auckland, and they'll need to be good against that defense. Well, they start with probably one of the best hitters in the country right now, Logan Moreland, at the top of the shop. Rebecca Bromhead, Krista Huani, Tanisha Hokamo, Miriam Markia, Kyla Bromhead. I said that quickly because all 5 of them are starting White Sox players right at this point. Brooke Whiteman, Madison Gerbies will be down the bottom of the order, but power some punch. Lauren Parker will hit for herself in the 9 spot, the pitcher. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are both teams top to bottom across the field. As you can see, they are set up, Jennifer Ferret, with plenty of experience and plenty of explosiveness.
Yeah, and starting off with Logan Moreland, one of the top batters in the country right now, and a lefty, which we discussed a little bit last game. There were no lefty batters last game, so it's really good to see just that added element going in straight away here.
As we hear Send It coming from the grandstand. And to be fair, probably well versed to say that Logan Moreland definitely knows how to hit that one out of the ballpark, doesn't she?
Yeah, and that's, again, we were talking about being lefty, so she has the power to do it, but she can also drop a bunt and be on one. Speaking of, there you go.
Just call her Nostradamus. Jennifer Ferret Bear here, and she can sometimes just drop a bunt and run it out, and hello.
I was going to add be at 1 before the fielder picks it up. I should have added it because I was thinking it, but exactly that. So Logan getting on, and that's the hard thing. When you have such a power hitter starting off your lineup, as a corner, you don't know what to do. Are you up? Are you back? What do you do? Because you're more of a threat when you have more tools in your toolkit. But now another experienced batter, Rebecca Bromhead.
Yes, exactly. Third basewoman, very good at her job. And you might think these 2 teams are going to war as that helicopter flies over top. Well, they are going to war because what's at stake here is a chance to get to the top of the pops. Both teams have been beat by Wellington this week so far. So Wellington are putting their hands up. Sacrifice bunt is perfect. Going to 3 though. Throw's going to be good, and it is! Auckland with a double play in the top. It's Hutt Valley with a double play in the bottom.
And you know what, that's a really aggressive ball game early. Hutt needing to make that play. So really doing what we talked about second phase plays. So being heads up, being ready to go. Laura Andrews receiving that ball. And as long as you have the ball in the glove, you can block that base. And so Moreland not able to get around her. But we saw some action in the first. We've now answered from Hutt Valley. Exciting game. And again, trying these things now, so that now they know going to the final. Actually, well, just going to the final. You can't assume anything. I know we have 2 really quality teams that see a lot of the final, but moving ahead when they face each other again, because undoubtedly they will at some point, knowing what works at this stage.
Exactly. Well, they have a chance to reach each other in the end, but the way the competition works for the women's side is different to the men this year. The women will play a complete round robin, and the top 2 finishers will go straight to the final.
Top 2.
Top 2. So different. At the moment, Wellington sit in the box seat. We'll give you an update as you see Krista Wani step into the box. We'll give you an update on where that point system is standing. Of course, it's only the end of day 2. There's another day and a half of round robin play to go. They'll play the last round robin play come 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Those games, you can guarantee, will still be important.
Always, always important. You can't take any team lightly, as we found. A lot of teams beating each other already, and this is a really exciting tournament where there's some evenly matched up teams, and it's really good to see that back and forth.
Hard hit ball up the middle from Hawani. Plenty of purchase on it. Moreland pushing the limits to go to 3 on that sacrifice bunt. Maybe if she'd stayed at 2, she could have come home on that hit. Who knows, to be fair. And you're right, they tested the defense early. In this case, Hutt Valley answered.
It's good to know what the other team's capable of, and getting these early days. Coaches probably would have lined up what can we afford to do here, where are we sitting, what's our position, and how much are we able to be aggressive.
This one comes in the inside edge. Tanisa Hokamo now. Starting first baseman for Wellington. We've got the umpire mic'd up for you as well, so you can get the inside. Nikki Ozure wearing that for us. Just going to say, Jen, just really impressed with the umpires in New Zealand being open to the idea of being mic'd. Not a lot of officials like that when they're officiating sport. Doesn't matter what sport it is. It just goes to show how professional our umpires are in New Zealand.
And it's really excellent because I think it gives some insight to the game. Oh, there you go. There's a new one back behind the batter. Krista trotting off over to second base. Not often do you see a pitch go behind the batter.
No, but I want to ask you a little bit Erin Blackwell, because I see a lot of change-ups coming out of her from time to time. What type of pitcher is she? What will she bring against Auckland today?
Yeah, so Erin's a bit more of an off-speed pitcher. She throws a lot of spinny junk pitches. So we'd say she's a junky pitcher. And that's really, really hard to hit because when you're trying to read that spin and see what's coming in and there's a lot of variety, you need to sort of sit back and have an extra look. And it makes it hard to swing and attack the ball. So, yeah, it definitely keeps the batters off pace.
Looking for that weak contact. And there's one going back. Time searching for it. The mask is off, and that is a fine catch by the young catcher from Hutt Valley.
And that's what happens. You get spin on the ball, and you get the pop-ups off the bat. So effective for Erin for what she wanted in that case. And out of the inning with no damage.
Well, there you go. Fantastic start here. Scoreless through one complete. It'll be Ashley Johnson, Palace Potter, and Otila Tavite when we come back for more action in the top of the second.
Never take time to worry about life. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Know that you are right. There's a world to behold. Another day you will grow old. So take time with the ones you love. Take time with the ones you love.
Well, it's music festival time, but it's more than that. It's softball festival time. It's the NFC live action coming to you on skysportnext. Great to have you along for it. I'm Jason Gerbies, a.k.a. Chopper. Jennifer Ferret-Beer with me in the booth on behalf of Softball New Zealand and Ballpark Broadcasting as we bring you game number 32 on the schedule. Hutt Valley taking on Auckland. No score in it so far, but Ashley Johnson leading off here in the top of the second inning says, I've got other ideas about it.
And Ashley, being a baller, she's ready to go and get her team going. And unfortunately, we weren't able to hear much earlier when we were interviewing her, but she said it's about unity. It's about the team and just pulling together. So, this is her doing her job for her team.
Lauren Parker, we'll settle right down here because one of the heaviest sluggers in the country up to bat now, Palace Potter.
Yeah, and Palace Potter, not originally in this Hutt Valley lineup, meant to be going back to the States to school, but with COVID and I think a few last-minute snags, she's still here and a late entry into that Hutt Valley side.
Yeah, got to say, with all of the university graduates, or should I say, entrants, staying back in New Zealand because of COVID has been really good for the domestic softball this season. Seeing New Zealand's own athletes, more of them here playing in the season. Of course, just like you said, a chance to see Palace Potter and Deborah Shaw-Tate starting at shortstop. Those are two examples of a couple of them that are just in limbo right now. I'm sure studying from home.
Yeah, and it's very rare that we get all of our top players in the country at one time. And this is, making the most of the opportunity to do so and have everyone together and see everyone play in the same competition.
Well, you've got, of course, Sky Sport White Sox coaching staff in attendance on this one. As we see Gerby's backhand to 2, going to 1. And a bang play. But defensively, looks like both teams are settling right down.
That was a top-level play by Gerby's over at second. That's a hard-hit ball. She's coming in hard, crashing, heads-up play, and being able to stick it, get it out of the glove, throw it over to Logan at second base, nearly turning the double play. But it all started with that play over at 2, so great softball from her.
Waimaria Weston will come on the run, the designated runner for Potter at first base. Ortela Tavite, designated player in this one. Sees the first pitch low. Lauren Parker looking to keep the ball low here against some of these big hitters from Hutt Valley.
Definitely keeping the ball low keeps that ball in the ballpark, specifically in the infield, and it makes it harder for those runners to advance and score.
This one pops up. They'll go to the fence. No chance for nor the catcher to grab that one. She's got one of those extension ladders or something, Jen.
Yeah, well, we've said, a lot of balls flying up, and Damien and I were talking, where do they go? You see them go up, but you never see them come down.
I understand every ball that goes up there gets donated. It's a junior softball here at Hutt Valley, so good on them. And nice for the kids to get a nice fresh match ball out there to play on a Saturday morning. Of course,
yeah, absolutely.
Saturday tomorrow, Rosedale Park will be full of juniors playing all day here, so it should be a real spectacle at the NFC, and the crowds should be bumper to bumper, I would think.
Awesome. What a great way to showcase our sport, and especially show it off to the young ones and show them what it is to play that next level of softball.
Pick off a attempt down to first base, but not going anywhere. Parker ready, outside set by Noa. 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, Moreland on her haunches. A dive, can't make the catch. Acrobatic though from the shortstop from Auckland.
You will always get 100% effort from Moreland over there at short. She was so close, and she'll be frustrated knowing how close she was to that. But she also knew she could feel the ball on her back, lying on it, and she knew she had to get out of the way to give her teammate a chance to get that ball in. And didn't catch it, but still held that runner at 2.
Play.
It's a pitcher's worst nightmare, those Texas leaguers out in no man's land.
Ball, pick up.
Good communication by the home plate umpire.
I think the one thing we will see a lot in this game is bat to ball. I think we'll see some action in the diamond. The ball moving around quite a bit. And I think these girls, they're both really good hitting teams, and I think we're going to see a lot of bat to ball today.
Winning outside Unoka. The start of right field for Hutt Valley.
Right.
Watches one come on the inside edge.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Craig Wallace, head coach for Hutt Valley in this one. First time I've seen Craig not in charge of the women's side from Hutt Valley.
Yeah, in years past, Joe Fariso taking the team.
Yeah, he did a great job, didn't he?
And mixing up a bit this year. So Craig over there. So that'll be a different atmosphere for the girls. Again, talking to Ashley earlier, saying that really good vibes, really good team chemistry, and the coaching being part of that. Big swing and miss there.
A good history, Hutt Valley, full count now on Winiata Inoka. Saw a highlight package of one looked like Jennifer Ferret. No, the name was Jennifer Ferret Beer. But boy, was she young on the hill.
Oh.
Is that a while ago?
Oh, that. Right. I know what we're talking about.
Pick-up player for Hutt Valley?
Yeah, that would have been my second year.
Yeah.
Second year in New Zealand, and
Wow.
I had an injury, so I didn't get selected for Auckland. And
Strike 2.
yeah, Vanina said she regretted that in the end because ended up meeting, playing for Hutt Valley, meeting Auckland in the final.
Yeah.
Still a bit sore about that loss though. 10 years on.
10 years on.
Yeah, there's some of those you remember, but Mitch Tangaroa having a standout
Yeah.
performance in that game, and that's what happens. New Zealand rep coming in, and she ended up finishing off that game, pitching, doing really well, and hitting that game-winning run. Still remember it was a changeup. She blew right up the middle. Still remember that. I don't remember much, but I remember that. So hats off to you, Mitch. You got me.
My bad, Jen, for opening the wound. Winiata Inoka goes down on strikes. Good rise ball from Parker on that one. Erin Blackmore, the opposing pitcher. I always like this when seeing pitcher v pitcher in the encounter.
Yeah, and Blackmore is just an all-around athlete. She's quite scrappy. She's, she can move quick. She's smart. She's a good baller. Like when we were playing over, she was representing the White Sox. Oh, bunt going down.
Bunt down. 2 down, bunt 2. The throw was low. It was scooped. But official Taylor down at first base says Blackmore beat it out. Boy, that's the type of thing she does, doesn't she? You don't normally see a bunt play with 2 outs in an innings, but she'll do anything.
And that's the thing. She's such an athlete, and she's able to get there really quick. But also, Craig Wallace over there, coach on third base, knowing that and mixing up, because who expects a bunt with 2 outs? You think an easy out. Well, guess what? He recognized that the first and third baseman were back, and he took advantage of that. That's smart coaching.
Very smart indeed. So with 2 outs, loaded bases here, they'll hand it over to the top of the shop in Denver Shore Tate. 6th batter of the top of the second innings here for Hutt Valley. Big opportunity, albeit with 2 outs.
Right.
That's a real nice location from Parker. So you have a solid batter up. You need to be smart. Really good location. Just tempting on that outside, but a little bit too far. Not sure if she wants to pull the trigger. So Lauren looking like she's coming back in and hitting her spots.
Key to stay ahead of the count here. 1-1 at this point. Change of pace, rise ball. Couldn't keep it low enough though.
Okay, strike 1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Talk about an exciting ball game for being so early in the game. But we knew that would happen.
2 quality franchises here, Auckland and Hutt Valley. Storied history against them. Just talked about the last one of the many times they faced each other. The backhand play from Hokamo as top shelf.
Again, Tanisha being an all-around player, playing multiple positions, and for her to be able to read that, being a bit biased, but being a bit hard to read that ball down that first baseline in this light, heads-up play from her.
Heads up play indeed. Tanisha Hokamo, outstanding defensively for Auckland there. Take care of business, and that takes care of the top of the second innings. Back on the bottom in just a short moment.
They say your home is where your heart is. I know my home is here with you. There's a world to behold. It's a better home you own with golden homes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LE Sports Stadium here, bottom of the second innings, and what's proven to be a top shelf performance from both Hutt Valley and Auckland. Both teams with 1 loss so far through the round robin. I'm going to give you the shakedown in the points table. What we do know is Wellington is sitting atop of the points table with no losses so far through 2 days of work. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from this point outwards. We know these 2 teams are going to get something going, and it's Miriam Amakia that decides it'll be me here for Auckland as she drives that one bounce to the fence with a stand-up double.
Stands up on second base.
Early in the count, jumping on the ball, hitting it deep. Can't ask for much more than that. And to be honest, Mariana isn't a very big player. You won't see her put it over the fence, but man, she can hit it deep, and she can really find those gaps and those holes. Again, another New Zealand representative player, followed by Kyla Bromhead. So quite a solid lineup for the Auckland side.
Auckland get going offensively. They can be very lethal, that's for sure.
Strike.
That one comes down through the zone. That'll level up. Oh, it was inside, apologies. So 1 ball. Blackmore, oh, clever play. No one's there, she'll get back easily. Boy, I tell you what, very clever play there. Denver Shore Tate, she saved the day there in the end. It was she shaped down for the bunt there, didn't she? But she pushed it past Lara Andrews. I think it's just too much because Denver Shore Tate came straight to her at third base and Miriam Markey had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Tate running over to third base to potentially field a ball on a steal. So luckily in the right place at the right time. But that is what I love to see, an excellent example and execution of a push bunt. So that's what happens. You saw Kyla square around, show the bunt, the corners come crashing in. White Sox teammate Laura Andrews over there for Hutt Valley crashing in from third base and just pushing it right by her down the line. And there's not much you can do. That's her hand side, not her glove side. And when she's crashing in so hard, really hard to do. So hard to get it down that line, but Bromhead doing just that, and that was perfect execution. And now we have our runners at 1 and 2.
Play.
Big opportunity for Auckland here. Craig Wallace out to talk to his troops. With no outs. Taylor made for Whiteman to drop it down.
Inside.
I love the communication from home plate umpire Jure here. Just not afraid to communicate. She said there, Blackmore motion, where was that? She said inside. Like I said, some umpires not happy to do that, They were like, why ask the question? I already called it a ball. But I like it when they'll actually give a little bit of feedback, as long as you ask it respectfully.
Exactly, and as a pitcher, and more specifically as a catcher, there is a talent to how you communicate with your umpire to make sure you have them on side, but you get the information you need.
Sacrifice bunt is good. Lara Andrews is good as well. Makes that play look easy. Wasn't that easy to do, but Auckland do move the runners in scoring position.
Yeah, not a total surprise there. Bunt from Whiteman. We know she can put down a good bunt and execute. So advancing her teammates to second and third. That's all she was asked to do, and that's what she did.
We'll bring up to bat now the second baseman, Madison Gerby's here.
Gerby's here, another young player. First time playing for Auckland.
First time playing for the Auckland NFC side, yes.
Yes, NFC
Played
side.
for a number of their other grades, 23s and 18s and so on, but first time cracking the big shot.
What exciting, and making the starting lineup. So hats off to her.
Doing a good job here so far. Big spot though. Goes at it, looking to push this to the outfield, will go foul. In the hole now, 0-2. Coaching staff for Auckland, Jamie Breer and Sammy Parks. You've got to catch up with Sammy before the game. What did she say?
I did. I asked, well, firstly, with Sammy, I said, what's it like being on the other side? She's been a player, obviously, for years. Still coming in and out a little bit, but now with the coaching hat on, assistant coach. And I had to chuckle. She's like, you know how it is. When you get to this level, these girls run themselves. So she was very honest with that. And coach is still calling the plays, but as far as management, the girls coming together, they're older, they're more experienced, they've been around. They know how to run themselves, organize themselves, get warmed up, and do those things. She's really, she's just out here to lend a hand.
Good pitch by Blackmore. Freezes Gerby's in the box there for the second out of the innings. Looking to get out of the jam. Both runners still in scoring position here. I'll hand it over to the pitcher. And we talked about the duel when Blackmore was batting against Parker. Well, now the tables are flipped.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm really happy to see Lauren with a bat in her hands. I personally think she's a bit underrated with the bat. She's just, again, scrappy. She'll swing hard. She's strong.
First pitch. It'll go to Potter at first base, and Blackmore does get out of the jam. We see Andrews coming off to the diamond, just looking her in the eye, saying, job well done. Big opportunity. Hutt Valley left the bases loaded in the top of the second innings, and Auckland leave two runners on in the bottom. Opportunities are plenty. We'll find out who takes the most of the opportunities when we come back in the top of the third. No score so far.
To keep our prices so low, we've come a long way since our first TV ad. No, we haven't. They're still simple and low budget, so we can keep delivering you the lowest prices possible. Pack and save. Our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices.
Your team lose again, bro. I've never seen a ball bounce like that before.
The weekend's for calls. Make yours at tab.co.nz.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ELE Sports Stadium. Music is pumping, the softball is sizzling. Great to have you along for this one. I'm Jason Gibby's aka Chopper on day 2, game number 32 here at ELE Sports Stadium of the Golden Homes National Fastpitch Championship. Boy, oh boy, we've got a good one here. It's a pitching duel and a defensive matchup. Jennifer Ferret-Beard.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. They say defense wins championships. Perhaps it's a little bit old school, but I actually think both teams have been really solid defensively because we knew there'd be a lot of action with the bats. We have 2 strong hitting teams, but then not able to get that run across the line. So defense playing their part.
Just going to get those results updated for you because a couple of ones that came across my desk are just conflicting a little. So when I do, I bet I'll give you the lowdown. It could be a 3-way tie at this point between Hutt Valley, Wellington and Auckland, but we'll wait for those results to come in officially. And a swinging bunt from Caitlin Lewin seems to go to first base without a throw.
Yeah, those ones are tough, you know, full swing, ball not traveling, so just tipping. So as a pitcher, that's what you want. You want the batter to miss-hit the ball. Unfortunately, in this case, it's really hard for the third baseman, Bex Bromhead, here to crash in and probably making a smart decision not to make the throw. Not worth it in this case.
First pitch comes down the pipeline. If we get an overview of the field, you'll see where Rebecca Blomhead is starting to set up here, the third basewoman. See where she is now. Well, she's going to take another couple of steps forward, so she is right close in this situation. Andrews didn't even shape for bunt, so she's got to be shaking a little. Another stand. Ooh. I tell you what, it's your job to be close to the batter. In a situation like that, and they ain't facing up the bunt, you're like, no, wait.
I'm not gonna lie, third base is probably one of my favorite positions to play just because it's reactive.
Yeah.
You see the ball, you sometimes you just kind of protect yourself, but it's tough. It's tough to know. You have to really read the batter, read their hands, read their body language. You know, do you think they just got a sign from coach? Do you think they're going to put down a bunt? And that's sort of that next level, just trying to read those little things. But you've got a power hitter like Lara Andrews that can rip that ball down that third baseline. So, yeah, it's a game within a game.
Looked like Craig Wallace called a hit and run on that last pitch. Lewin was off and running from first base. Andrews wailing at it. Now tips it off. So Wallace knows this is going to be tight. If we're not going to sacrifice her over, we're going to get her over there somehow. Up the middle, double play. Only if he gets there in time, and no. Caitlin Lewin with a great jump and makes it to second base, so couldn't be any better for Hutt Valley here, starting off the third innings, Jen, with no outs and 2 runners on.
Yeah, and I always want to go back and watch Caitlin there taking off 1 because she got to 2 in a hurry. That was a hard hit ball to shortstop, and for Moreland to be able to take that ball and flick it over to 2 as fast as she did, I don't know. I think Lewin got there pretty quick. It makes me wonder.
Well, I told you we've got a good umpiring crew out there, and Rebecca Taylor at first base. She's one of the best. I guess if she sees she didn't leave early, wow, she must not have.
I really like Rebecca. She's going to go back and she's going to come to me. She's going to say, what are you questioning what I'm doing? But it just goes to show, you know, that there's either a lot of speed there or, you know, taking off, knowing the count, knowing that there's something going to happen on that pitch. So getting a good jump is a big key to the game because that's, you know, an out versus a runner in scoring position now.
So the 2 runners on. Tungian now gets her opportunity, no out, so it's
watching the runner.
Well set up for a sacrifice bunt situation. But to be fair, as you know, they have an opportunity to to do something different. We saw Rebecca Bromhead push it past the third baseman, something unorthodox.
Exactly, and they're testing each other early
Yeah.
and they're seeing what works. But you just would have seen the runner at second base creeping out halfway. Look how far our runner is. Right, Caitlin Lewin really testing. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
What's this catcher going to do? They're going to know that Araha not experienced with Auckland, and so this is going to be new for her. And saying, oh, what are you going to do with the ball? I'm going to test you. What are you going to do? No one's coming in, crashing in behind me at 2. I can play with this.
And of course, with a bunt, shaping up for a bunt. Middle infielders will go in opposite directions here. And there you go, bunt play. You can see Gerbies, the second baseman, go to first base. Moreland, the shortstop, go to third base. So Lewin knows that at second base. She knows she's got a lot of room to move because no one's moving to her base, I suppose. So very clever in trying to tempt the catcher into something.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why you say it's a game within a game. You have to know what's going on, and everybody's shifting. There's a lot of moving parts, and everyone has their role.
Hard hit ball. This is not going to worry about where the fielders are running to because it goes to the fence. In comes 1. Here comes 2. No chance for a play at the plates. Lace Tangiano coming up massively for Hutt Valley here in the top of the third innings. They need now lead 2 runs to 0.
And that was a good at-bat to stay patient, wait for that loose pitch, and perhaps a little bit too far over the plate, and that's what you do. You punish it. When you see that pitch a bit too far on the plate, your eyes light up, and you're, yes, thank you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this pitch.
Bit of a coach's duel here at the moment. Jamie Breer, Craig Wallace trying to outthink each other with no outs here.
Strike 1.
Wallace has an opportunity, and you can hear that with the home plate umpire. Here we go, we'll
Time is
listen
not
in.
out. I'd already called play. If you want to have a chit chat, I had called play. Let's go. Get in the box.
And Nikki doing what she does best, enforcing the rules
Strike 1.
and making sure we play the game, you know, how it is set out to be played. And so making sure we still keep going because it's not time gamed, is it?
No, it's not a time full game indeed, but the game of softball, the name for it is the name of this tournament, Fastpitch Championship. And it's fast, it's quick, it's action, and home plate umpire Nikki Ogier well within her rights to call play, and if you're not going to listen to her, she's going to penalise you for it. So a strike goes on the batter, so that'll move the count. 2 strikes on her now, and 1 ball.
Ball 1. Strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that makes it hard on the batter, right? Because now you have an extra strike and it's 1 less pitch that Lauren has to throw, and it's a strike.
Slow roller to the pitcher. She'll make this over in time for the first out, but she does move the runner over to third base.
Makes the play to Hokamo on first base.
And what I will say about that is Lauren has done a lot of work receiving the ball off the bat, because as a pitcher, man, you're flying in, you're throwing the ball as hard as you can, and then you have to actually react and field something.
Yeah.
And so it's something that she wanted to develop, and I know she's worked quite hard with Jamie to
Hard
be able to do
hit
that.
ball, looking to be deep enough. It looks well deep enough. Good catch by Whiteman. That'll allow the slugger, Lace Tangiano, to trot in from third base for the 3rd run of the ball game.
On 3rd, and she'll score as well. 2 out.
Play.
So Hutt Valley, top of the 3rd innings, capitalising on every opportunity. 3 runs to 0 at this point.
And that's the danger when you get a big hitter up and you have a runner on 3 with less than 2 down. Tanisha again.
Straight to
Fine defensive play again by Tanisha Hokamo at first base. But not before. Tangiano makes them pay with a blast to centre left field after some speedy running, by, to be fair, by Caitlin Lewin to get safe at second base and erase the double play. 3 runs scored by Hutt Valley in the top of the 3rd innings. We'll be back with the bottom of the 3rd. Has Auckland got a reply? You tell us. We'll find out when we come back.
All the best throwbacks, 90s and more.
It's all the best throwbacks, 90s and more Noel on your Friday drive. Yes, it's that time again for your Meta Rap Battles. We pick a bit of a coke bottle to rap about where I take on
the man himself, and it's me, your boy, Powder in the morning, or we like to say Powder in the morning. And it's that time again, finally, where we rock the airwaves and get into your Meta Rap Battles. And this week we're talking about the Wellington Rugby League scene, all kicking off tomorrow morning at the Otaki Domain. So let's get straight into it, man. Your Meta Rap Battle.
Yo, here we go. Here we go.
Rugby League is back for 2018, smashing each other all over the scene. Hey, it's PT are back in 2018, cause man, they are mean. I'm wishing you could say the same about me, but I'm more of a spectator, you know me. I'm with the man himself, they call him naughty, because sometimes he's very naughty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hutt Valley post up 3 runs in the top of the 3rd innings, and they did that very well by jumping and capitalising on their opportunities. Auckland will go back to the top of the shop here. Logan Moore, Rebecca Bromhead and Crystal Wani. 1, 2, 3 here on the bottom of the 3rd. You see Moreland just trying something again, just about getting on at the top of the shop here. And I guess she doesn't have to hit a home run every time. We do see her on the home run leaderboard though, don't we?
Yeah, so she does have 1 home run so far, which is for day 1 pretty darn good. But she's also second in the batting stats with 625 batting average, which is a bit ridiculous when, you know, again, 300 is a good batter. So that's just, that's top notch right there. But beating her is Krista Hawani with 667. So Auckland having, you know, 3 players, on that top list. But you'll see Moreland showing bunt again. So bunting the first at bat. Fielder's probably thinking, nah, she won't do it again. It's Logan. She's going to put it in play hard. But what caught Logan off guard was the changeup, because when you make contact with the ball, you can't be out of the batter's box. And so I think that threw her off and her game plan. So she knew, I think she's elite enough to know where her feet are. And so she sort of had to pull back, and because not often you see her miss.
Full count here on Moreland. And it's Moreland does stay true to herself. Inside the ball, drives that slow delivery up the middle with a lead-off single. Just what the doctor ordered here for Auckland, trying to answer right back after giving up 3 in the top.
And that's the best thing you can do, is answer back. So your lead-off batter getting on base. Can't really ask for a whole lot more than that. And is chipping away. And as we would have seen in the last game, Wellington versus Canterbury, down by 3 runs in the 6th inning, and able to chip back away and pull away with the win. So it's just the team having little hits after little hits. You don't have to come up and be a hero and hit the ball over the fence.
Inside, just misses Rebecca Bromhead, starting 3rd baseman. She's been amongst the action defensively today. Sacrifice bunt from her back in the 1st innings.
Sacrifice, it was down that line. It was that push bunt, beautiful bunt. And she knows the game well enough to know exactly where that needed to go.
How?
Trying it again. Oh, it's Kyla. Sorry, it was her sister that had the push bunt, so maybe it's a sister-sister thing.
Yeah, well, they definitely bounce off each other. We had Kyla Bromhead, as you know, came in for a chat earlier today. And you asked her the question about playing, or Damien asked the question about playing with his sibling, or in this case, Kyla gets a chance with her daughter now playing in the senior ranks. This one gets away. Opportunity for Moreland. She'll take it, go down to 2.
What I just want to note there is watching Logan and how she moves and how she keeps her eye on the ball, ready to advance to the next base. Again, that's elite softball. So she put herself in position, didn't hesitate, saw the ball, got away, moved to 2nd, and now she's in scoring position. That's elite softball.
Ready to rock and roll here, centre field for Hutt Valley. Caitlin Lewin in a little shallower than normal. Trying to get the ball down, can't quite make contact with this one.
So you'll see Bex in her approach, she's really pushing down on that ball, because the worst thing to do is pop up a bunt, because then it's really hard for your fielder to get back to their base, or your base runner out on 2nd base to get back to the base. So you really want to be on top, but in this case, maybe pushing down a little bit too much.
Change up is good from Black. Well, no, that's not good. That is filthy good. Picks up a big strikeout here at Bromhead.
Yeah, that ball had a little wiggle moving down and away, a bit of off-speed pitch, and that's what Blackmore's so good at. She can mix up her paces, wiggle the ball, make it move a bit, and again, catching Beck's off guard. Big out for Blackmore.
Big out for Blackmore indeed.
Strike.
So we talked about Krista earlier. Right now, after day one, she's leading the stats with a .667 batting average. She has 4 hits out of 6 at-bats.
Mainstay in the Sky Sports White Sox team is Krista Hoani, and putting together one of her great performances today here at the NFC. Hard line through the gapper. Moreland will score on this. Won't even be a play at the plate. The throw comes in vain. To be fair, too vain, because now Hoani will capitalise and go down to second. They'll go swapsy. Auckland put up their first run of the ball game.
Yep, and in this case, you know if there's a runner at 2, they're going to be going home. But I think in this case, a heads-up play would have been to know your speed. Logan's going to get home. She's quick. Unless you have a rocket arm in left field, you're probably not going to make that play. She would have played 2, could have held Krista at 1. So these little things are probably talking points after the game to say, next time, let's hold that runner back because we know this is the best play for the situation.
Hard hit ball down the line from Okamo this time. The left side of the infield, been peppered, cut off play. Okamo with a slide in the back door. Watch out, I've got the key to the locker, and the locker's getting open now. It's 3 runs to 2.
Okamo scores the run and gets the double.
And that's really exciting to see. And in the game, you know, you want to say trade positions. You'll hear that often. You know, so Krista replacing Logan over at 2, and now Tanisha doing the same thing. Both hard hit balls down the line. You'll see a slight adjustment this time. So instead of going straight home, a cut being played, nearly getting that second runner going to 2. So you see Hutt Valley making the adjustments. And I know I keep talking about elite softball, next level softball, but this is what it is. This is that second phase play. It's about making the adjustments, not the next game, but within the game, within the next play. And that is what makes this game so advanced.
Trying to keep on top of the game mentally. Hutt Valley are on top of the game with the scoreboard. Miri Ana Makia hit the left field in the top of the second innings, or bottom of the second innings, I should say.
Strike.
The one comes down, levels the count now.
What I will say, what I really like about Nikki is that you know when it's a ball and strike. Sometimes you can't quite tell with umpires, but you know where you stand with her.
Two balls, 1 strike.
That's all you want. You want consistency, don't you? But you also want a fair umpire. And I think, to be honest with you, home plate umpire Nikki O'Shea is one of the fairest umpires out there I know.
Good ball.
This one skips in though, change up. You're going to get hit by a pitch. That's probably the good one to get hit by.
You still won't feel good though. You know, it's called softball, but there's nothing soft about that ball.
Not a true word spoken. It's called softball, but there ain't nothing soft about it. Well, we left 2 runners stranded in the bottom of the second innings, Auckland.
Play.
Now they'll set up one of their veterans, Kyla Bromhead. See if she can convert a couple more here and give them the lead. Blackmore pulls the string one more time. Bullpens in action for Hutt Valley. Siobhan Landoros up and throwing.
Nice dirty little inside pitch there, had a bit of a wiggle, so it would have looked very similar to the pitch before that. That pitch came down really nice, that first pitch. You could tell Tyler really had another second look at it. This one looking really similar, but moving in towards the hand, so harder to actually make contact. So really well good job calling those 2 pitches back to back.
Oh.
Pulls that down the line, and you can just see the mental game ticking over between the battery partners here, can't you? Time eye behind the dish. Blackmore on the hill.
And Kiara going to know this better, because Kiara actually originally teammate at Bears.
Yeah, played
catching.
underneath Bromhead for a long time. The throw gets loose at second, and they will grab one. The crowd is starting to get excited, that's for sure. Great to see here, and that's because these two teams are challenging each other, aren't they?
Fine. Well, we've got 1, the scoreboard's got 2. How many's actually out, please? 1.
There you go. Just I tell you, there's one thing I know about live softball. You might have a scoreboard, and you might, in this case, live stream, you might have the score on the thing, but there's only one person that has everything correct, and that's the umpire. You always wait for them to give you the call. So 1 down here, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bromhead. Off and running on the pitch is Mark here. Throw to 2, and it's offline. It's a gift for Tennille Omatangi, running out there as a designated runner, and Auckland have tied this ball game up just like that.
Ball 2, strike 2.
And just about the scoreboard, so at this level, as players, you know that you can't trust that scoreboard. It's great, it's handy, but you need to keep track yourself.
Oh yeah, stay in the game.
Because you can't say, oh, I made that play because the scoreboard said.
Bromhead on the back 1. It's fair, it's trouble, and it is fair. And it comes Mark here. They'll grab the lead and change places here. Auckland found themselves a bit of groove in the batter's box here in the bottom of the 3rd innings. Lead the ball game 4-3.
That left corner of the field really getting a lot of work with this Auckland side. So you see Craig Wallace coming out to talk to his team. Is he strategizing? Is he perhaps bringing in a relief pitcher?
Well, we know that the bullpen is in action. He hasn't motioned to her yet, but she is out there warmed up by the looks of things. Get your home plate umpire. It's most confusing, but I've got a 1 out, and the scoreboard's got 2.
Well, it's been a long day of softball
as
well,
yeah.
And knowing that these umpires have multiple games in a day, and you'll see 4 umpires out there. It's hard for them mentally as well. They need to be on their A game.
They sure do indeed. And you're right, there is no break for the umpires. They might get a game off, but normally they are straight back into the action.
Right fielder, Brooke Whiteman.
Back to the action now, Brooke Whiteman looking to continue this offensive barrage.
So I just want to have a look here at base runner Kyla Bromhead, because one thing, what you watch with the second base runner, is she tipping the catcher's calls? Can she pick the catcher's calls, and can she tip them? And is she tipping them to the batter?
Does that happen, Jen? Like, I don't see any.
Depends.
I don't see any garbage cans out there or anything like that. But of course, the Houston Astros robbing the Los Angeles Dodgers of a World Series. Not saying I haven't forgotten that, but it was a couple of years ago now. I haven't. I did forget about it a little bit. Of course, the Dodgers are the reigning World Series champions. Just on new pitcher too, Jen. Bauer from Cincinnati, their ace. Their starting rotation looks filthy.
Well, I've always been a tribe girl, Cleveland Indians, so being from Ohio, not far from Cleveland, that's always been my team.
Ah, good on you. Whiteman now. Drive, catch, and throw over. To be fair, Bromhead had dove back just in time anyway. Good reactional catch by Short-Tate at shortstop.
That's a tough play as a runner, to break off that base so hard, slam on the brakes, and get back. So that's years of experience and being able to read that ball off the bat.
The 2 out. They'll bring the bat. Number 5, second base, Madison Gerbies.
Madison Gerbies get another opportunity here. Struck out back in the second innings.
And what I was going to say about Maddie is that she might look little, but she can put bat to ball and she can hit that ball quite deep. So I think she's really unassuming, but they need to be careful here.
Junior White Sox representative just waiting for the okay to travel internationally. The U18 WBC World Cup will be hosted in Peru, Lima, Peru, in August this year.
Pitcher Lauren Parker running out of the way of that one. The last thing you want to do as a batter is hit a foul ball into your pitcher, into your own pitcher.
On the back of this one, looking for no man's land. But nicely camped underneath that is Winiata Inoka. That'll stop the bleeding, but it bled pretty hard. Hawani, Hokamo, Bromhead, all doing the job demolition-wise, all solid hits. They drive in 4 here in the bottom of the 4th innings. We have a lead change. It is Auckland. Now that lead the ball game 4 runs to 3. We'll be back with the top of the 4th. Hutt Valley, they'll have something to say about that, I'll guarantee you. See you soon.
Stand by, they're about to go. Second pitch spot next was Rosedale out 3 wide.
The TAB takes you from wherever you are, right into the race. Melbourne Cup season is here. Join the TAB, deposit $10 and get a $20 bonus with the promo code SPRING. TAB, now you're in the game.
To keep our prices so low, we've come a long way since our first TV ad. No, we haven't. They're still simple and low budget, so we can keep delivering you the lowest prices possible. Pack and save. Our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ELE Sports Stadium here, where we've had a game of plenty of action, defensive gems, and awesome hitting. It's come from both sides. Hutt Valley pick up 3 runs in the top of the 3rd innings. And that replied, Auckland replied in the bottom. It was Tangiar now and Potter with the hitting for Hutt Valley in the top of the 3rd. It was Hawani, Hokamo, and Bromhead for the hitting in Auckland in the bottom. 4-3 is the scoreline. Auckland with a slender lead. But I can tell you what, Jennifer Ferrer-Beer, this thing is far from over.
Yeah, well, as we saw in the previous Canterbury-Wellington game, Canterbury was up the entire game, and in the very last at bat, Wellington came back. So you just never know. Few runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, it's just not enough in this game. So we have a tight ball game, 1 run here. I reckon it's going to be back and forth for a little while. And we saw a second inning, a lot of sharp defensive plays, some heads-up softball. But then 3rd inning, the bats woke up. Saw some exciting plays there.
So don't take your eye off the screen, because there's lots of action to come here between these 2 teams, that's for sure. First batter goes down on strikes, Winiata Inoka. Got to bring up the pitcher though, Aaron Blackmore.
Blackmore, like I was talking about earlier, an overall athlete. So when we were in SummerSlam a few years ago, they had her over at 3rd base, and this shot went down the line way over her head, and she leaped into the air, totally sprawled out and able to pick that ball out of the sky. And it just goes to show that she's an all-around athlete. She's played infield, she's played outfield in recent years. She took a catch SummerSlam I saw 2 years ago, diving over the fence. So she can play anywhere in the field. she's someone you want on your team.
She is definitely someone you want on your team, that's for sure. A baller. The greatest esteem. And as we've seen already in this game, she's a true two-way player. Crafty when it comes to the offensive side most of the time. Pulls back, but she's not bunting. She slashes that one down the line.
And sometimes you'll see batters do that. They'll put the bat out in front of the plate just to help them focus in a little bit more, see that ball coming in off the pitcher. And who knows, you know, she does have glasses on, so are the lights having an effect on that? You know, it is harder to see the ball at night. So although it looks pretty and nice, it's harder sometimes to read that ball on that spin.
Top for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Waste pitch from Parker. Lauren Parker thrown all of the pitches so far for Auckland in this one. Running over the top of this. Bromhead was going to try to let it run foul, but then she realised no chance of that doing. But a swinging bump this time.
Yeah, second one of this game.
Blackmore.
Lewin had one earlier. Beck's having just a real hard time over there at third, but that's what happens, and this is part of the girls working together. So you have a lot of players here. They are from different clubs. You have a lot of Otahu girls and Bears girls from their clubs over in Auckland, but they haven't really played together, and so Beck's hasn't played third base with Lauren on the mound, so she doesn't actually, as a fielder, she's probably not used to how the balls come off the bat when Lauren is pitching. So this is going to be an adjustment and a learning curve for Bex, and she'll pick that up now. You know, you've got her twice, but now she's going to be ready moving forward, and for the rest of this game and the tournament, she'll know that actually, okay, this is very possible to happen.
Auckland do have some pitchers on the bench. No one moving in the bullpen yet. Tyler Morrison, one of the other ace pitchers in the lineup, and of course first baseman Tanisha Hokamo, the third pitcher in their roster. But it's all about Hutt Valley right now. 1 out. The top of the third innings, looking to answer right back. Ball just comes on the outside here. Shortate's a mixed bag today. Single to right field to lead off this ball game in the first innings. They ended the second with a drive on a pretty play by Hokamo at first base. Pick off. Waste pitch there.
It's good to see them keeping the runner, Erin Blackmore, honest over at first base. You want to, knowing that she has speed, you want to keep her as close to the bag as you can. So by throwing down and keeping her on her toes, it keeps her closer to that bag. But you never know, she could break and go to 2. I've seen that happen as well.
Game within the game, strategy on strategy. Will I go? Shall I stay? Almost seems like you're writing a music song there, Jen.
Oh, I think Coach Craig Wallace here is going to be putting some pressure on the catcher as well, Ataha Noa.
Off and running this time. You're right on the money. Looked like a hit and run play as Shortate swings through it.
2-2.
And it is. It's about knowing your opponent, knowing your pitcher. So in this count, knowing that Lauren's probably going to come back with a strike. And so Coach Craig Wallace knowing that and saying, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a hit and run.
Parker just missing. Balancing point here, Jen. I think if Auckland can stay tight defensively, and then come out with another couple of runs and maybe mental block for Hutt Valley to get over. But on the flip side, Hutt Valley have an opportunity to put something in the back of the minds of the Aucklanders. Off and running again, Blackmore. And she got there yesterday. Nice stolen bag.
Here, Blackmore safe on second base.
Yep, so Shawtate going down that strikeout there, but at least enough to advance the runner, staying in her at bat long enough to actually allow for that to happen.
So they'll bring it back. The center fielder, 16,
Caitlin Lewin. Acknowledges a good pitch on the outside edge. First delivery to her. Forced an error by a throw from third baseman in her first at bat in the first innings. Then led off the third with a single past third base.
I think that was that chopper that went to Bex that first time. But always a bit of swag. Caitlin Lewin, she's got the greeny bluey hair. I'll have to ask her. I can never tell which color it is, but she's always got something special going on. See that ball coming back quick to Parker, seeing if they can turn around and pick off Blackmore over at second base.
Opportunity for Lewin. Gets on the back end of it. It's got to go a long way, and it is long. It's very long, over the top of the centre fielder. Markia couldn't handle it. Caitlin Lewin answers the call for the Hutt Vallians. Drives it over the centre fielder's head. Maybe a little misjudge. Doesn't matter. It was a hard hit ball, and the game is tied up 4 runs apiece.
Yeah, and with the lights and not being used to playing in lights, to be perfectly honest, but also going back and trying to read that ball in the air at night with the lights and right on the fence. And I will say this is why it's important to have women's distance fences at games, because I can tell you that most of the time the women play on men's fences and they don't get an opportunity to track the ball back and find the fence to catch that ball. So we need more opportunities like this in the women's game so that when we do go play internationally, we can compete and we know what it's like to play on the right size diamonds.
Pick off at the back. Lewin with that big lead. Gerby's trying to pick her pocket. Pocket's intact though for Lewin. You did right, Jen, playing in the right distance. Also knowing how far you've got to go and the communication required for your outfielders in those situations. Ground ball. Lewin in front of it. Mauler with a strong throw. Doesn't matter. All the obstacles in the way. They make the play. But not before. The green here. Flowing in the wind. Caitlin Lewin does it again. Drives one in. Got ourselves a tight ball game. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. This game is far from over. 4 apiece. All the action still to come here in game 32 from the NFC.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 30.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LA Sports Stadium. This game is up and down, round and round. Action aplenty. 8 runs scored in the last 1.5 innings. 3 to Hutt Valley in the top of the third and 1 in the top of the fourth. 4 by Auckland in the bottom of the third. It's just tied up here. First pitch, swinging. There's Parker, and she'll drift that one out to Lewin at centre field.
Parker doesn't waste any time. I think that's her second at bat. Both times have swung at the first pitch. And I love that. I love that she's aggressive and ready to go. At the same time as a pitcher, I've made note of that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes as a pitcher too, you're like, wait a minute, don't go out there. I want a bit of a rest, but I guess no excuse when you're the hitter yourself. Logan Moreland. She showed she can beat out a bunt earlier in the match. She does it again with ease this time. To be fair, Palace Potter, the first baseman, was down the line. She didn't want a bar to do with it.
You've got to ask yourself. She's been up 3 at-bats, and she's shown bunt all 3 times. What do you do if you're a fielder?
Also, she goes deep in the count in her second at bat in the top of the third innings, and she drives it up the middle. How do you defend against Logan Moreland? I don't know. That's for sure. Off and running too. Hit and run play. She notes it might be a catch. No, it's not. Burgess with a strong throw. She's got a strong arm. But Moreland with enough of a lead off first base, making sure she can get to 2.
Yeah, had to catch my breath on that one. Moreland slowing down, getting to second base, and she knows it. She knows that was a close play, and she should have been there harder. You know, that ball is hard to read. That's been a bit of an abyss all day. That just behind first base. We've had a handful of balls now land there. So that runner at first having to read that ball off the bat, but Moreland knowing she should have gone a bit harder once that ball hit the ground.
So now Omatangi comes into the ball game, the designated runner. It's a run for Brom Head at first base. And one of the statistical leaders in the batter box after day 1, Krista Hawani now steps in, and she's having herself a ball game, that's for sure. 2 solid hits, an RBI, centre and left field both times. Hard again. Lewin dives, no chance for Superwoman to get it. In comes 1. They'll grab the lead. Omatangi's being pressured to go home too. The relay's not in time. And Krista Awani's bat stays red hot.
And that's answering back. And that's what happens when you get 2 really quality teams with quality batters facing off, because you get just that answering back.
Those 2 runs puts them in the lead now, 6-4 over Hutt Valley at the bottom of the 4th innings. Plenty of action. Blackmore pulls the string just inside on Tanisha Hokamo. Drove in 2 in the 3rd innings to left field, down the line.
With big hitters, you want to mix it up. You want to mix up the pace. You want to mix up the location.
They got her with her change up first time up. Remember, they popped up and the catcher spun round to get it. Tamai did a good job with that. So I don't think she wants to throw anything hard to Hokamo at this stage.
The harder it goes in, the harder it goes out.
Just misses inside. I tell you what, I got lucky enough to spend some time with Tiny Tanisha over Christmas, a good couple of 3 weeks actually, coming to Hawke's Bay with the family. And anyway, we did a bit of training with the kids, and Tiny come along for a couple of those trainings. And this one drifts inside, 3-1 count now to Hokamo. Anyway, I'm throwing BP to Tiny. The first one she hits, screamer. I'm like, whoa. This girl hits hard. I'm like, where's the cage? I need a net. I need something. She's going to kill me. And there you go, hard ball up the middle. Good backhand play by Johnson, though. That's top shelf right there. Does allow Hawaii to go over to third base.
And Ash doing what she does best. She has good range. She's able to get to both sides, but also making sure she gets low and she stops that ball. So although she goes down to the ground, she's able to pop up quickly and make that play. You'll see a lot of times players will make a dive, and it's great. They stop the ball, which is good because it keeps those runners from advancing and scoring, but then she can pop up and make that play. Again, that's next level stuff.
Bottom of the 4th innings now, 6 runs to 4, Auckland leading. Miliana Markia watches the change up just sail over the top of the zone.
Starting to see Blackmore mix in a lot more change-ups, so really wanting to keep these batters off pace and from pulling the trigger and hitting it hard. So you'll see that in a pitcher when they're mixing in more change-ups. They're really trying to fool the batters and keep them from loading up and hitting it.
Bullpen for Hutt Valley's been busy for a while. Siobhan Landeros has warmed up down there, but now they've got up also warming, and quite hard actually, is Rongomai Luke Royal.
Yeah, you mentioned Siobhan. Siobhan's second on those batting or the pitching stats so far after day 1.
Hard hit ball. Going back to the fence, and a nice catch taken at left field by Tangiar now, but not before the damage gets done here in the bottom of the 4th innings as Crystal Hawaii cashes money in the bank 3 RBIs on the day, 3 from 3. The White Sox superstar. Auckland leads 6 runs to 4. More action coming to you in the top of the 5th when we come back.
G'day, my name's Brent Mulholland. I'm the Managing Director of ELE. I guess what makes ELE quite different from others is all of our people have a technical and management skill set in the sectors that we operate. So ELE as a business operates in the civil, transport, construction, engineering and oil and gas sectors. We have branches in Christchurch, Wellington, Auckland, Hawke's Bay and New Plymouth. And we engage approximately 500 workers on any given day. So if you're a client looking for great staff for your business, we've got people that can help. We're easy to work with, non-corporate, and we like to think we just keep it real.
I'm Richard Leach from Higgins Contractors Wellington. My role with Higgins is operations supervisor, so I'm responsible for the daily planning, daily resourcing of each crew. ELE Recruitment, we're an agency we deal with for temporary staff. We've been dealing with them for 3 years now. They're a good bunch of guys to deal with. They're all down to earth, they know our business, and plus they've also got staff and leaders that have been in the industry before, so they know what we want, they know our
Hutt Valley have been outstanding in the batter's box so far in this ball game. They've scored plenty of runs, 4 runs so far. They've got a lot more to go here. They'll send up Lace Tangau now, Ashley Johnson and Palace Potter. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 5th innings. Up, second baseman's got to move. And something just goes amiss there. Maybe gets stuck in the lights as Gerbies is chasing for it. But it'll find the ground anyway, as you heard the crowd. Oh.
We were talking about earlier in the last game that sun being a factor, and it's really easy to lose the round thing and the round thing when it goes up in the sun. But now, in the case of the lights, you've got a lot of round, bright brown round things, and so it's even easier once that goes up in the air.
Ground ball to shortstop. They'll have to go to the first base. Makes the play, does a Moreland. Just a slow roller, had no chance to go for the double, getting the lead runner.
Yeah, Moreland showing off that arm yet again. Every time I see it, I can't help but be impressed. That rocket over to 1. You know, and Ashley having a really good game. She's actually 5th on the batting stats after day 1 with a .571 batting average and having a hit through that 5-6 hole. But now we have up to bat Palace Potter, who has also shown that she can do some damage for Hutt Valley here.
Palace Potter, big opportunity. And if you ask me, Jen, it's important that she capitalises here for Hutt Valley. She has so far. And she's been presented with the opportunities. And here she goes again. She does capitalise. Hard hit ball to Alford. No chance for a play. It's a home plate on it. Got to say, very impressed with the White Sox representative playing in this matchup for the 2 different sides. They've really come with their A game today.
Yeah, and this is just that next level of softball when you have really quality batters and the game is back and forth, right? So sometimes in the game of softball, you'll see one team hit really well, they'll come out strong, and then they'll really go flat the rest of the game. But here, this next level of softball, you see the back and forth.
Pick-off attempt. Back in time is Potter, but looks like she might have sprained her thumb just a little.
She looks like she's hurting a bit.
Not a fingernail. Just misses down low. Well, Tila Tavite, single to left field in their second innings. Grounded out to the pitcher. And another fine play by Hokamo at first in the 3rd. Hard hit ball, second base, gets it. Can't go to 2 on the plate. To be fair, it almost knocked her off her feet. That was hard hit.
And that's a big play for Gerbies because not only does she recover from her the earlier ball being dropped, but she fumbles looks to, so she already had the game plan in her head where she wanted to go, realizes, you know, that's not the best play, and then having to reset her entire body to make a solid play at 1 and throw that ball cleanly. You'll see a lot of young players throw that ball away because they actually don't have the composure to be able to set themselves and, you know, falling on your knees, turning, not having the play, and turning all the way around. It takes a lot of athleticism and know-how and composure to be able to pull that play off.
Yvonne Burgess came into the ball game a little earlier for Kitty Juanita Inoka. Fine ball play from the Te Aroha Ball Club in Hutt Valley. Goes at this one, unfortunately for her, just on the inside of the bat. But Hutt Valley, they did what was needed to be done. They at least pegged back 1 run. We've got ourselves a 1-run ball game here. 6 runs to 5, Auckland leading. More action to come here from ELE Sports Stadium and the NFC National Fastpitch Championship. Welcome back to ELE Sports Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, to the Golden Homes National Fast Pitch Championship. Presented to you from Soppel, New Zealand. Live on the home of sports, Sky Sport Next platform. Great to have you along. For this one, I'm Jason Goobies, a.k.a. Gooby, Chopper. With me in the
Forgot
booth.
your name there, Chopper.
With me in the booth is Jennifer Ferrer-Beer, outstanding pitcher and slugger for the Sky Sport White Sox team. We've had ourselves an outstanding ball game. These two teams have been an arm wrestle from the beginning of it. It started with good defensive plays, highlight reels in the field there. Then in the third innings, they kicked it into another gear from the batter's box. Both teams have scored 11 runs over the last 2.5 innings. 1-run lead to Auckland. They'll look to try and ply their luck. Hard hit ball. And just see Caitlin Lewin at centre field. Started in, then realised the power of Bromhead's bat and went back and made the catch.
And some of the hardest balls to field in the outfield are the ones that come right at you. When it's on the side, you can get a better idea of the trajectory and how far it's going to go. So Lewin being able to read that one and still make the adjustment given the lighting and everything else, that was a good take from her.
Whiteman now.
Just looking at how far back the first and third baseman, Potter and Andrews, are. And Whiteman's been known to put down a good bunt and get to one.
Definitely shading the left-hand side. Short 8 and Andrews on the left-hand side of the infield here. Middle looks open and inviting. Change up, boy. That's the Ephus pitch. That thing came in like, I don't know if it actually had a speed on it. It was that slow.
Yeah, it was a dirty pitch. Gotta love a good changeup.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Ferrer-Beer had about 12 of them. Here's another one, and it gets the bottom of the zone this time. So Erin Blackmore, she's done enough to keep them in the game, hasn't she?
Yeah, I was thinking earlier that these pitchers going deep into the game, which is really exciting to see for both teams to be able, yes, there's a lot of hitting, but it's back and forth and it's tight. Why would you make a change?
Andrews stays back, but still manages to regather. Boy, oh boy, that's a good play in the end. One looked like a bad setup, but boy, she stayed with it.
Yeah, well, as that ball comes hot off the bat and you have to react over at third base. Again, this terrain's a bit different.
Yeah, yes indeed, and makes the play. Good players stay in there, don't they? We're going to have a substitution here. Let's peer and have a listen.
Bottom of 5.
Bottom of 5th innings, just missed the introduction. So there's a pinch hitter coming to the ball game here. Pearl Marley Wadeford will step in the batter's box and hit for Gerbies. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th innings.
Right.
First pitch, she's debuted with us down the middle. I got a question for you, Jen. Offensively, and we know Auckland have put a lot of hits together here, but when you've got a pitcher changing the speed and varying the pace so much as Blackmore does, what does that do to your psyche as a hitter?
Yeah, it's a matter of changing your thinking. So having an approach that works for you. Every batter is going to be a bit different. Some batters are quite good at being patient. Others need to build in cues. So whether it's sit or, even starting your trigger a little bit later, or simply picking that one pitch and waiting on it. But yeah, the junkier the pitcher is, it really makes that ball hard to read and to swing big. So I'm impressed that we've seen so many big hits today off of Blackmore.
Change up again, and this one pops up. Johnson will march back and make the catch. The first time in 3 innings, Auckland's been held scoreless. And we've got ourselves a real ball game here. There's only one in it.
Re-enter.
Plenty of action to go. You see the re-entry for Gerbies back into the field for Auckland. Pulling bullets, trying different strategies. Let's see what Hutt Valley come out with. I bet you it'll be something really, really good.
Within the ELE group, we have a range of companies and a very wide range of people. We have 3 core values: growing together. That means with our staff, our stakeholders, and of course with people like you, our customers. Building tomorrow today to build a better tomorrow for us and our customers. And thirdly, keeping it real. Doing things that are going to work for everybody and being mindful of the fact that we're not a corporate, we still have a family feel about our business.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby.
Well, Jen, you said it's Valentine's Day. Teaks will be played plenty of times come Sunday. I rest you assured on that one. Well, it's playing here too. We're getting deep into this ball game. Top of the 6th innings. Hutt Valley have scored in every innings the last 3. They're looking to continue that action here against Auckland. Only trailing by 1 run. As you know, Jen, they've got plenty of cards up their sleeve.
Absolutely, and your first 2 batters this inning, you have Aaron Blackmore followed by Denver Shaw Tate, 2 speedy runners as well. So people that you really want to keep off base with Lewin, Andrews, Tanyang now's coming up to bat, so got to be careful.
Both teams have proved their hitting prowess in this one. It's hard to see the total stats on the scoreboard here for the number of hits, but they are plenty full on both sides.
Bromhead tracking that one down the third base line, able to make that catch and get that first out of the inning.
Always important trying to keep the team scoreless, keep that lead batter off the base. They do that this time, Auckland. They'll be in the hands full again, as you mentioned, Denver shortstop. Mixed bag today. Started the ball game with a single to right field, then a nifty play, grounding out to the first base in the second, and a strikeout in the fourth.
Strike.
Parker really starting to hone in on that down and out. You've seen her throw that a few times now to Denver, so identifying that that's somewhere they want to go. And Denver not swinging early in the count, knowing that as well.
Curve action. The outside not teasing enough for Tate.
And then you have Lewin on deck, and we know she can hit big, nearly putting a ball out earlier, being able to go deep, something she loves to do. So really wanting to keep Shaw off the base path.
Oh, big swing by Denver. I'll tell you what, she almost hit that to Denver in the USA.
One
thought in her mind, tying the ball game up with one swing. You did right, Jen. A lot of these athletes out here can put it out of the ballpark with ease.
Absolutely, and it's really good to see in our game having players that can go quite deep and being strong, but at the same time, Logan Moreland being a prime example, able to drop that ball down and run to one.
Hard and down the line. You see Tate is starting to lock in here on Parker.
Yeah, well, we're sixth inning now, top of six, so seeing Lauren a few times. This is her fourth at-bat against Lauren.
Fourth time through the order is tough, isn't it? For any pitcher, to be fair, Jen.
Absolutely, and you know, we know some of these batters and pitchers already know each other from years of experience at this level, and so it's hard enough that they already know one another, but then it depends on the game, you know, and a pitcher, sometimes you go out there and you're on your A game, but often you're not, and so it's always sussing out the pitcher in that game.
Location is picture perfect from Lauren Parker, and it needed to be too. Back-to-back strikeouts here. Jen, I want to ask you that question. When you were pitching, when you are pitching, I'm not going to say when you were pitching because there's no way you'll finish. But anyway, when you're pitching and you get to that fourth time through the order, what are some of the things that you come up with as a strategy?
That's actually a really good question, Chopper. You have to change up your game a little bit. So, you know, if you're coming out early and you're throwing a lot of maybe rise balls and drop balls, maybe you start mixing in changeups and starting your at-bat, the at-bat with a changeup, and then maybe even starting to introduce a curveball. In Lauren's case, she's predominantly down, curve, and change. So I'd like to see her throwing a few more curveballs because her curveball's quite good. But mixing it up is the key.
Curvies will come in. No worry about the lights being in her eyes this time. And got to say, fourth time through the order so far. Touch wood for Lauren Parker has been good. They'll retire them in order here. By the time, about time we had ourselves fast half innings.
How about that, though? Answering back. Three outs last inning, 3 outs this 1, 2, 3.
It's all happening here. The NFC, Jamie Breer will get his team together in front of the dugout for Auckland. He knows that he's got an opportunity to try and put this puppy to bed. 6-5, Auckland lead. We'll be back with the bottom.
Your ideas, your plans, your vision for your dream home. At Golden Homes, we work with you to create a home you'll love living in. With total design flexibility, our exclusive gold standard building system and Zog steel framing proven to withstand magnitude 9 earthquake activity, your new Golden Home will have all the strength, comfort and sophistication you've been dreaming of.
It's a better home you'll own. Golden Homes.
Golden Homes. Call 0800 22 22 36.
To keep our prices so low, we've come a long way since our first TV ad. No, we haven't. They're still simple and low budget, so we can keep delivering you the lowest prices possible. Pack and save. Our policy, New Zealand's lowest food prices. Well,
every other day is like no other when you're at the Golden Homes National Fastpitch Championship, the NFC. Great to have you along for this one. Hope you've enjoyed the ride so far. It has been rocky because it's been exciting. These two teams have put it out there on the diamond. Hutt Valley and their green and gold trying to turn it to gold. They have been outstanding, scored 5 runs through the last 4 innings, giving themselves a chance. Only 1 run behind Auckland. Auckland with an opportunity now, though, here in the bottom of the 6 innings to try and capitalise on their lead. Jennifer Ferret-Beer working the booth with us tonight. Fantastic to have her experienced White Sox pitcher and slugger. Jen, game's been pretty decent so far. What are we going to see for the rest of this one?
Oh, well, I actually think it's quite interesting starting out. So Lauren Parker was batting, but she's come out, and Kayla Clark is currently in for a pinch hit. So just mixing it up, seeing different batters, giving them the opportunity. So for those people who haven't been performing up until this point, Coach Jamie Breyer has been giving them the opportunity to say, you know what, these other people haven't done it. This is your turn to come off the bench and to make something happen at this point in the game.
Well, if anyone would know what's going through the head of the head coach for Auckland, could be you, Jen. Of course, that's your husband down there. Tell me, when your husband's in the midway through a tournament like this, is he good to talk to? Oh, line shot. Lovely play by Lara Andrews at third base.
Sometimes you wonder if it's self-defense or actually softball play, but well taken by Lara. And good piece for Kayla to come in and hit that ball hard. Yeah, well, talking to Jamie depends on if I'm playing or not. Typically, if I'm a player, I tend to steer clear.
Right.
Yeah, but he's come home, after yesterday and more specifically this morning, talking about the games ahead.
Logan Moreland is on fire, and it's got underneath the glove. This could be trouble. She's rounding 2. Does she have a chance to do it in there? Parker, no, the throw is strong over behind her from Johnson. But boy, she leads off with electricity, and she tells the team, get up. Let's put this puppy to bed. 6-5 they lead with a stand-up triple.
What a game for Moreland.
She's had a tough one, been on base safe every time. 2 bunts, 1 hit, now the second hit to go with it. That'll pose the coaching staff from Hutt Valley have to come out, have a chat to their troops another time here. No, doesn't look like that the pitching is going to change, though. The bullpen is sat back down.
Well, you have a long week ahead, right? They've seen Siobhan already in 1 game, and now they've seen Aaron. So perhaps meeting each other later, you don't want them to see too much from what they've already seen. So, yeah, at this point in the game, Aaron's tough enough to, I think, finish off, but you never know. Maybe it's just a matter, because it is still a tight ball game, it's a matter of seeing how this inning progresses.
Well, strategy left, right, and centre. You can see huddles all over the place here. Sammy Parks with her, I'm going to say signature red here right now, but boy, oh boy, that lady, she's entertaining.
Yeah, just don't ask Casey Roper what she thinks her dad would say. Yeah, I heard that. I wasn't listening much of the Roper tournament, but I was listening to the final, and I did have to laugh to myself, feeling like, oh, if you know Roper, you know exactly what he said.
Yeah. We can't repeat that right now, by the way. We cannot repeat that, but yeah, that was cute for sure. And sometimes you're just going to tell the truth. Squeeze play. Ball comes down, and it works. 1 out of the fastball 45 coaching box. And they grab the insurance run here from Bromhead. A squeeze play here in the death of the ball game, bottom of the 6th. They now lead 7-5.
Taking this one to 7-5.
I don't want to give it away, but I think anyone that knows Jamie knows that he really likes that squeeze play. And Logan having wheels, Beck's big and experienced batter. Although that ball being in the air, very lucky. That could have ended up turning into a double play against Auckland. So quite lucky. It was still a short bunt. Andrews laying out, just not able to get there.
Well, I've got an update on the points table for you, just come in. And so it's 5 points a win.
To the zone for strike court. Now batting is
1 point for a loss within 2 runs. A bonus point there. Wellington are sitting top of the table at this point with 20 points. They've actually got the one loss. So you see a foul ball down the line. They lost to Auckland's 2-7. They've won every other match, beating Southern Pride twice as Wellington, including beating Hutt Valley. Hutt Valley, they're on 15 points at the moment. Just dropping the one game. That was against Wellington. We saw that today, losing 3-0. Picking up wins over Auckland. Southern Pride, this is the second time they're playing Auckland, obviously Hutt Valley. It was a come-behind win on day one to open up the campaign. Auckland, they've had a mixed bag, to be fair, Jen. Wins over Southern Pride and Wellington, but they've dropped 2 games, one to Hutt Valley and Canterbury. So what does that do? That keeps the doors wide open here. What's important, these 2 teams know they can't lose any more games. Double round robin. The top 2 places will go straight to the grand final. That one due for 12 o'clock on Sunday. And it looks like it's going to go right down to the wire. Wellington in the box seat at this point anyway.
And that's why every game matters, and you shouldn't approach any team lightly. You need to go out there and play every game.
High shot by Hawani. Burgess right underneath it.
Burgess is under it to make a catch. And that's the second out.
Tanisha Hokamo. Step in to get her fair share of change-ups, you would think.
Yeah, well, a batter that you need to be wary of, because as of yesterday, at the end of yesterday, she was number 4 on those batting stats, batting .571. And obviously a batter with power, you have to be careful.
On the men's side section, it's Auckland that are marching ahead over there, 25 points on the table. But it's a log jam. North Harbour, Hutt Valley and Wellington and Canterbury all locked on 16 points. So great ranging play. Lara Andrews just misses as it goes deep into foul territory over there. So on the men's side of the program, it's anyone's grab, but theirs is a little bit different when they get to the playoff time, of course. They will do the 1v4 and the 3v2 match.
And that's more of a classic draw where, you know, top 4 have a chance to battle it out. But with the women's draw having, you know, limited amount of teams, working out better that everybody gets to play each other twice.
Hard hit ball. Gets over the top. There's those lights again. To be fair, we've seen a couple get lost in them tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you, we don't actually play under lights very often. And it is a completely different ball game once that ball goes up in the air. So those runners on both sides now have to know, I need to go hard or be ready for that ball to drop. It's happened numerous times, so it's just something, an extra element to the game.
There's a base runner, just keep on going. 2 down here, of course. 2 runners in scoring position, Miriam and Mark here. So, correction on the men's program. The playoffs are 1v2 in the major semi-final. That'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The winner of that goes straight through the grand final on Sunday at 2 p.m. And 3 and 4 play each other with a chance to get to that sudden death semi-final game at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Apologies, it's 11 a.m. is that sudden death semi-final on Sunday morning. So there is an advantage for the 1 and 2 on the men's program, that's for sure. A shorter route to the final. And what a play! It just comes out and goes foul. And gotta say though, Lace Tangiar now putting her body on the line, crashing into the fence, trying to take that catch.
That was one heck of a play, and I really thought she had that ball solidly. Oh, they check it.
You can see
so good on Nikki.
Yeah. Home plate. Nikki Ojura just said she hit the fence pretty hard there. I'd like you to go out there and make sure that she is actually okay.
Yeah, it's one thing if you hit the fence between the poles and you have a little bit of bounce, but you know, if you get it on the pole, that changes things quite a bit. You knock yourself pretty good.
I'll tell you what, these ladies from Hutt Valley are hearty.
1-1.
You try and take them out of the ball game and you've got a battle on your hands, that's for sure. Especially in a 2-run ball game, this has been outstanding, and it's long from over here. Hutt Valley, you know they're going to score some more runs.
I've always enjoyed watching Hutt play because they play hard. They get down, they get dirty. They're diving headfirst into fences. They're not afraid to put their body on the line, and that's what I really respect about Hutt, is that they're ballers.
They sure are indeed. Play it hard, just like that hit from Mark here. Hokamo's trying to come home, and she will score. Outstanding batting from Auckland, and looking to prove the difference here a little bit. But the 2 more insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6 gives them a 3-run lead. No, apologies, 4-run lead now, Jen. 9-5.
And look, that play in left field, you know, you as hard as it was, you can't give a good batter like Mariana Makia an extra chance. You can't do it, because that's exactly what happens. Another couple runs cross the board. So great effort in left field. But that just shows you the difference. When you have an opportunity to make a play, as hard as it is, you need to take that opportunity.
Right.
Auckland scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, 2 in the bottom of the 5th. Now 3 here in the bottom of the 6th innings. 9 runs over 4 innings of work here as they move towards the death of this game. Hard hit ball again. This one could be missed. Oh, she snags an ice cream cone. Boy, oh boy, she's busy out there tonight. There's Tangia now. And good on her for staying at it. And she made a fine catch in the end. But not before Auckland pick up 3 runs here off the bat of a squeeze play from Bromhead. And a drive from Mark here. These are the 3 very valuable insurance runs. 9 runs to 5. We'll be back with the rest of the action here in the top of the 7th. Hutt Valley will need to score and score big. Back soon.
He might not look like much in an apron, but that's John Miller, loving husband, relatively reliable plumber, and holder of the Bledisloe Cup and 2 Investex Super Rugby titles. Don't let the heels fool you. Wendy crushed 2 of the biggest names in men's tennis to go all the way at Wimbledon. Tony, one of New Zealand's most impressive multi-sport players. Try playing and taking out a rugby league grand final, a grand slam, and the New Zealand Cup all at once. Mary Adams came from nothing to take Cleveland to the playoffs. Where to next? Well, she won the New Zealand Derby with Ginger Nuts. Finally.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Damien Collins will bring us back, the ground announcer on this one. He's been outstanding tonight too, but no one better than these ladies out on the diamond here, Freeman Field, in the NFC game number 32. Been one of the best so far. Jennifer Ferret-Bear joining me. I'm Jason Gerbies, a.k.a. Chopper. It has simply been top shelf, Jen.
Yeah, and look, you've got Lara Andrews starting off here for Hutt Valley, really wanting to get her team going.
Well, she's done it plenty of times as Lara Andrews. Looking to try and do it again here. Hutt Valley needs something. They need 4 runs to tie it here in the top of the 7th innings, 5 to grab the lead.
And if anybody can come back, it's Hutt. And Coach Jamie Bray from Auckland will know that, and he will have that conversation saying, this game is not over. We can't give them an inch because they will take it and then some.
Hutt Valley known for their determination, intelligence. Hard up the middle, Lara Andrews continues this rampage from the batter's box.
And that's one thing you can't do. You can't throw a ball down the middle to Lara Andrews.
Sat back there and dispatched it. Hutt Valley get their valuable lead off batter on.
The left fielder, Lace Tangiano.
The 4-run lead. Lauren Parker's not going to flirt with the balls on the outside of the zone too much. She's going to go straight at them, isn't she?
Yeah, well, she's got to be careful, though. She's some big hitters coming up, all who can do some damage. Tangian now, Johnston, and Potter.
All big boppers indeed, even Tavita behind her. So if it's anything for Hutt Valley at this point, they're at the right part of the order, Jen, that's for sure.
Well, this is where it comes down to crunch time. You know, we said in the game before, it's not over till it's over. And this game is definitely not over.
This one down low. Fans getting their money's worth. Some top-level softball here tonight at Rosedale Ballpark. Wind has died down to nothing. Hard hit ball. Backhand is good with the dive. No way she makes a play. Gotta say, Logan Moreland did everything just to stop that ball. She'd have been able to make a throw and the money would have been unbelievable. So great stop by the shortstop from Auckland.
Right, so you have Ashley Johnson coming up to bat now, who is 5th after day 1 on the batting stats. Right, so a batter you have to be careful with. Well, I should say tied for 4th, actually, because her and Tanisha Hokamo are both at a .571 batting average.
Well known. A big fan of Ashley Johnson. Not just for her play, and I heard you talk about a little bit earlier in the last match, but her ability to come back into softball after becoming a mother. I call her the super mother in the softball, and she plays exceptionally well. We've seen some good defensive plays from her today. As you've just mentioned, her batting stats this week are exceptional. She's 1 from 3 today with a hit to left field. But it almost seems when the pressure is on is when Ashley Johnson really turns it on a notch.
Yeah, I think she really thrives off of that pressure, and she really likes to be the one to step up for her team. This
one pops back to want to climb the fences.
You hear that one all the way down the back of the building.
It did, all the way down there, rattles along. Johnson. Senior player for Hutt Valley these days. 1-2 on her. On the back end of it, it's high though. Mark here, a long way to go. Makes the catch. It is well deep enough to allow Andrews to move to third base though.
Laura Andrews tags up, makes her way to third base, and with 1 out and a runner on 3.
Time called here by Jamie Breer.
Number 19.
And he's going to bring in the whole team here for a chat, Jen. You're going to tell me what's he doing?
It'll be a little bit of strategy. He'll be saying, hey, look, this is the 7th inning. Game's not over yet. But we need to go at these batters and we need to get these outs, right? So lots can happen with 2 outs left in this game, especially with Hutt Valley. But this is how we're going to attack these next few batters. So he'll have a game plan. Everyone will be on the same page. And he just wants to make sure they're all settled and ready to go.
Tell you what, the fans are getting rowdy in the stand. It's fantastic to see how much they buy into the ball game, isn't it? Brilliant. If you ask me, I think there should be more of it. Well, here we go, getting ourselves a grandstand finish. Looking forward to one here. Pellis Potter, she has simply been clutch all day here. Both times she's had opportunities to score runners. She's done that in the 3rd and the 5th innings. 2 RBIs on the day. She'll want to cash in some more here for sure. Goes to the first pitch. And it's a sliding catch. She will cash in another. But unfortunately for Hutt Valley, she'll trade an out for it.
Really well taken by Whiteman out in right field. We've seen how much drama those lights and the ball in the air has caused today and how much of a challenge that's been. And you can see when she was running in, she was not confident, but she figured out a way to catch the ball. She watched it, she got under it. Doesn't matter if it was pretty or not, she caught it.
Leading by 3 now, Auckland. Hutt Valley down to their last out. Mammoth game here. These 2 teams have racked up the hits left, right and centre. Matila Tavite looking to stand in the way from Auckland's victory. In on the hands, Bromhead will make the catch. Lauren Parker with a complete ball game on the hill here was to steady the ship. A little bumpy in the middle, but steadied it to the end and rode it into the port here. Auckland will march out victors in game number 32, 9 runs to 6.
We have ourselves a heck of a ball game when we're looking at some of our batting and pitching. Yep, the pitching went the long run. Well done to both pitchers being able to last the entire game, but I think that was one heck of a batting duel offensively. Both teams some stellar hitting. Hats off tonight though to Logan Moreland, 4 for 4, showing that she can go deep, but she can also drop the bunt and get around. Stellar performance over at shortstop as well. Clutch, big part of the team.
Big indeed. Thank you for joining us today for the live action here from ELE Sports Stadium for the Golden Homes National Fast Championship. It's been our privilege to bring it to you. For all of the stats and all of the background action, you go to the Facebook page for the National Fastpitch Championship. Of course, also the website at Softball New Zealand, the NFC. Just click on that. It's got all the statistics, all the background information you could possibly think. Next game coming up, well, day 3. They'll be back to the men on Diamond 1. Hutt Valley will take on North Harbour. We're pleased to say we'll be bringing you every game from Diamond 1 live now. The NFC, it's been great. It'll continue to go. Day 2's in the books. Day 3's only just around the corner. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. For all the crew here at Ballpark Broadcasting, Adrian Royal on the switcher, Damien Collins, the ground announcer today, and of course Jennifer Ferrapere for her outstanding comments, JP Goobies on the graphics. I'm Jason Goobies, aka Chopper. We'll see you all tomorrow.